Hi, this is Eric Dixon, NFL Hall of Famer, and you're listening to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast.
Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Oh, welcome in. It's week 18.
It is not.
And we're still here.
We are. But it's not football time.
No.
Oh, yeah, it's Thursday.
I'm not
too.
even sure much of, only some of the games will be football this week. But we're here.
You put a poll up, Andy, on your Twitter, on your X, asking how many people are in a Week 18 championship game, and about 10% of people said, we're still playing.
Yep, 10%. 10% of people
Grody.
have they have commissioners that are
winners,
stuck in the mud, you know?
That's all right. Fix it next year. We got you this year.
Yep, we're here. We've got our best effort at matchup breakdowns. Some games are easy. Some games are very, very meaningful. It will not be hard to break down your start set for Minnesota-Detroit this week.
Nope.
That won't be difficult. It won't be hard to figure out your Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Falcons and some of those, but we'll do our best to walk through the matchups. We have news to talk about. We do have starts of the week, and we have a reminder for the champs out there. By the way, I am looking for a new family.
Oh, yeah.
Figured.
You got rid of that one, huh?
You know what was great is Al apparently texted my father as well, and I saw him, and he said, yeah, I got that text, but I didn't know what was going on. He totally didn't understand what was happening.
I like that I basically called that beforehand. I said,
oh, you did, yeah.
I was like, your parents are probably too old to be able to figure this out.
Thanks for putting a classic episode together at my expense, Al. And
thanks for being such a good sport.
I want to tell you, when the show was going on, and I knew that, spontaneous congratulations. I know there were more coming after you had my wife on the first one. And you don't know how much I was hoping that the next one I was going to hear the voice of one of your two wives. That it wasn't just my family. I thought maybe you got Tiffany to say something, but no, it was a full pile on. And I did make my son, Nathan, believe he was not my co-manager.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Well,
and I made him believe it for a good few hours.
To be quite honest, he should not be your co-manager anymore. That's crossing a line.
It was it was real. It's real problematic for that relationship. But we'll recover, I think. A reminder for the champs out there, the T-shirts, the Foot Clan title T-shirt, shopballers.com. Your trophies, you can go to fantasychamps.com for trophies, championship rings, belts, and if you buy a trophy over there or a belt and put the code FREERING into the checkout department, into the checkout coupon area, you get a free ring.
Well, you also have to have the ring in your cart.
Yeah, I would do that.
If you type in free ring but you don't have a ring in your cart, you're not getting the ring.
No, a ring will not just show up.
They don't put
it. Would have been free.
It would have been. So you can check that out. We're on X at the FF Ballers. We're a year-round show. We'll be here next week. Schedule shifts to Tuesday, Thursday episodes in the playoffs and off-season, and we will also have a bonus weekly episode at jointhefoot.com as we do each and every week and have for the last, 10 years for the Foot Clan, answering your questions, having a lot of fun over the off-season. I think that takes care of everything here at the top. Glad you're feeling better today, Al.
Appreciate it.
News and notes from around the league. Presented by USAA Insurance.
Kings are still there, apparently.
I guess it's
That
was not intentional.
Is that the new graphic moving forward?
No, I'll get it switched back.
he was on it again.
Yeah, we might have forgotten to switch that back.
I was gonna say breaking news. The Falcon back in the office after 6 months?
Yeah, he took a year off. This was a sabbatical. Is that what we're calling
that's
this?
What it is.
Well, welcome back, man.
Yeah, you got to be very refreshed.
Very. Yeah. Now, Who has the? Yeah, he's got the toilet trophy back.
Congratulations.
Hey, I got a trophy over here too.
Okay, I'm glad I changed the camera. All right, the Eagles announced they're going to rest key starters. Kenny Pickett's a DMP, so what is it, Tanner McKee?
Something like that.
And Barkley very likely to sit in this one, although he did come out and say after he slept on it, he wants the record. He wants a chance to be part of history. But Sirianni has said essentially that it's a special record, but you got to do what's best for the team. So we expect him to sit. I don't like that.
It's a little bit funky. If I were Sirianni, I mean, I would be like, dude, Dickerson did it in 16, brother. Like,
that's fair.
Be like, you want it in 17 games? You want to take the record that way? Like,
no one
you'll
will
have it, but
ever give two farts about the number of games ever. 20 years from now, if Saquon has this record, people are not going to talk about it.
The olds will care, and I'm counting.
Yeah,
us
but they
as the
die
olds.
off.
Yeah, eventually.
Oh, no
eventually.
way. I mean,
but,
you have the record or you don't. Period.
But here's the thing: is yes, eventually, people of our age will be gone and won't care about it. But honestly, how much Eric Dickerson? I've watched footage of him play. He looked absolutely incredible. You know how much I care about Eric Dickerson as the player, though? He wasn't in my era. I don't care.
Right.
So his record's like.
But you know who has the record. And you hear his name brought up all the time, every year.
Yes. And it will be the
one reason.
It would be the Saquon record for the next 50 years worth of talking about it.
Well,
until Cam Scattaboo breaks it.
Yeah, and until a player comes in and they're at 18 games, and then that
will be like next year.
And then that record is gone.
That's a good
rapidly.
point. That's the best point I think to me is that it actually would be gone pretty quick.
Do it in 16 next time, Barkley.
All right.
He could still play. This is not a guarantee that he's being benched yet.
Mitch Trubisky will get the majority of the work for the Bills. Carson Wentz for the Chiefs. Jimmy G for the Rams. Josh Dobbs for the 49ers with the Purdy injury. You also have George Kittle, very unlikely to play in that game. He's banged up. Tyler Huntley will start for the Dolphins, most likely. And then Anthony Richardson said he couldn't even get out of bed last week with back spasms.
Same, brother. Just so tired.
Same, brother. The Cardinals ruled it. You have no back spasms, but very similar.
Yeah, no, I was only agreeing with the couldn't get out of bed part.
Yeah, James Conner will not play. He will not finish
with a
complete season.
Oh, man.
Austin Eckler designated.
We got to get those out of the way at the beginning of the year.
I know. Just start with like 2 missed games.
Yeah.
And then play the rest of the season.
That way he doesn't feel the pressure to disappoint us.
Week 3?
Yeah.
Just week 3. Just take it off.
Eckler, designated to return, full practice, will play.
Nice.
He's a dart throw this week. Amir Abdullah didn't practice after the big week last week. I can't believe that's in the storyline.
It's a Wednesday, so, I mean, if he's back at practice tomorrow, then he looked so good this last week.
I mentioned Kittle. Debo didn't practice. Pearsall limited. And Ladd McConkey, Josh Palmer, Gus Edwards, DMPs, Jalen Waddle, limited. Kate Otten didn't practice for – this will be a third straight miss for him. And Aaron Jones, limited, should be back for the big game on Sunday night. That was today's news and notes presented by USAA Insurance. Learn more at usaa.com/insurance.
Starts of the week.
Well, week 18, it's a fun one. I will go with Jared Goff. Do we have the Goff?
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the King Goffrey in week 18, the largest over-under in any game since 2020. Projected team total of nearly 30 points.
Really?
And they're averaging 33 points per game at home, or 36 at home. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Jared Goff against Minnesota, the Dominator at home.
Holy
that
crap.
game
56
is going to be
$56.5?
so fun.
The Hominator and the Dominator.
I think it opened at 52 or 52.5, and it's just skyrocketed. My start of the week is Laser Mayfield, baby.
Yeah.
Laser. He got you here. He got you to the championship. He is in a win-and-get-in situation. They're 13.5-point favorites at home versus a rat tail. You can take this one to the bank. He currently has 4,000 279 yards, and 39 passing touchdowns with a 72% completion percentage. Only other player in NFL history to have those three numbers is Drew Brees. He has been awesome.
He also is – he's on the precipice of I think like 3 escalators.
Yeah.
Where, I mean,
he's going to get some money.
He can earn himself a lot more money. Like, those guys would love to have
and a
them.
playoff berth.
Yes. Would love to have those guys, but in case I don't, Bryce
Young.
Say
the rat tail. Dang it.
No, I can't go down that far. That's a
Week
danger.
18.
That is not a path I'm willing to walk, but Bryce Young against Atlanta. Bryce Young has actually been consistent lately, and since the bye, he's the QB9 in fantasy, averaging about 18 points a game. He's running a bit more. Like in that 6-game span, he's averaging 5.6 rushing points per game. It's the 6th most for quarterbacks among that time. So he's getting it done. The Atlanta defense is PU stinky, and I think that Bryce Young he's in play here.
All right, at running back, I'm going to go combo platter, rookie backups. Blake Corum, Isaac Guerendo. A lot of talk about the workload Corum's going to get this week in a game that doesn't matter for the playoffs situation at home against Seattle. Excited to see him get a big workload, McVay said. And Guerendo, I think this is an opportunity for Guerendo to end the season, to put himself in a position to compete for that backup role next year. He's averaging 5.1 yards per carry on the season. He was a top 12 running back last week against Detroit. So give me the rookie backups.
The Guerendo thing is so interesting for next year. Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Jordan Mason's a free agent. And it's like, what does that whole scenario look like? Because they were, to start the year, they were so publicly enamored and vocal of their support of Jordan Mason.
Elijah Mitchell, actually, is how they started the offseason.
Right. Well, yes.
With their public support of him over.
Sure, but then the support for Jordan Mason, but with them both possibly gone, and then Guerendo taking the job, and it's like, has Jordan Mason played himself into a different opportunity? It's going to be very fun to watch.
It would just be a matter of, like, I don't think he's going to get a bunch of money.
No, I'm not.
He'll go be a backup committee, but he'll get more money than San Francisco will offer them if they like Guerendo.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be really interesting to see where he lands, and I could see him really just not getting, because he got injured, like just not getting a relevant role, and then he'll be a name that we have to remember someday. My running back start of the week, J.K. Dobbins, going to Vegas. He's going to play some slot machines. He came back last week, ran the ball 19 times, 76 yards on the ground, and a touchdown. Right now, the Chargers, they're 5-point road favorites in a game that really matters to them. They can improve to the number 5 seed with a win and a Steelers loss. That would be playing the Texans instead of the 6th seed, which seems likely to play the Ravens. So I think I would much rather play the Texans if I was them. In week 1, we saw this matchup. He was the running back 4 on the week, 10 for 135 and a touchdown. So it's a good matchup. They need the win. Dobbins is also in play for comeback player of the year. So I'm sure he wants to put an exclamation point on that.
Is he actually?
Yes. He's a favorite, I think.
Not Burrow?
I don't know if Burrow's going to be – like, that's a very subjective situation with what a comeback represents. Him coming from an injury like that, what Dobbins suffered, and returning to form is rare.
Sure.
So I'm not sure that, Burrow's situation is going to fit.
All right.
Burrow is still the favorite? Is Burrow still the favorite on comeback player of the year?
I haven't looked at those odds a single time this year.
I guess Dobbins is sitting at 3rd most likely. So he could, like Jason said, he could secure it with a big. His injury during the year might hurt him.
I'm going with Jaylen Warren against the Cincinnati Bengals. He has been above the Warren line each of the last 2 weeks,
which is
10 points.
10 fantasy points.
Which is 10 points a game, 17 opportunities in both games. That's actually the most he's ever seen in back-to-back games in his career. And over the last 6 weeks, since he is dead last against running backs, we want to target that matchup. Yes, he was a limited participant yesterday in practice, talking about Jaylen Warren. So I'm expecting him to play. And the way that, just interesting things to track, like Warren versus Najee, essentially they were both playing to try and get the Pittsburgh Steelers role for next year because they're both free agents. And it was like, oh, this is so easy, Najee. This might be shifting here at the end of the year.
Do you remember when Jason made a very famous dynasty trade?
He's made a few of them, but which one?
It involved a wide receiver.
Was his name CeeDee Lamb?
No, I'm not
John
looking
Ross?
at that one. It was
is it?
Jordan Addison.
My
start of the week.
most recent one. Yes, okay.
Who was the wide receiver 5 since week 9 on a roster that may roll back Sam Darnold, who, by the way, Pro Bowler Sam Darnold. Pro Bowler.
Yep.
Jaden Daniels this year.
Yep, they got in.
But Addison, must-watch game, the other side of the Goff experience here. I'm going Addison. Detroit, they're going to give up points. I mean, they just do right now. And since week 9, averaging 8 targets, 72 yards a game, and 1 touchdown, while Chris Olave is just waiting to get back on the field.
What was that trade, Jay?
It was I traded away Jordan Addison.
Yeah, this was before the season.
This was before the season, and 2 firsts for Chris Olave. It doesn't feel good.
It was
you win some, you lose some.
It was a very polarizing trade, by the way, in the community at the time. I remember seeing strong opinions, the pro Addison movement, losing the picks. You were trying to go
Jordan
for
Addison. He was my guy last year. He's a good player, but it has not worked out. Granted, I did think Chris Olave would be playing football.
Sure.
Which is like a helpful part of that trade. Another player
That's
who
what
I
hurt you.
traded for is my start of the week, Drake London, this week against Carolina. They're in a must-win game for Atlanta. And in the 2 Michael Penix starts so far, London has been targeted 38% of his routes, which is outstanding, 38% of the team's first read targets. He's the wide receiver 10 on the season. He's averaging 9 targets and 68 receiving yards a game. And the matchup against Carolina is great. They're 31st in EPA per pass attempt on the season. Drake London, I think, is a very, very good start. You always want these players in Week 18 that have something to play for. So hopefully you've got them on your roster.
Speaking of, they have something to play for. I'm going with J-Mo Williams against the Minnesota Vikings. We want pieces of that. You saw the 2 touchdowns on Monday night. Minnesota, they're a pass funnel right now. Teams are throwing the ball 64% of the time. That's number 1 in the NFL, and they are dead last in schedule-adjusted points to the wide receivers because of that. Like, they're a great rush defense and great Minnesota, I'm speaking of, and then they're a great offense. So teams have to throw.
All right, my tight end, I'm going to go with Noah Gray. Travis Kelce very likely to get the day off for the Chiefs. Noah Gray against Denver with Carson Wentz, who is playing for money. He's playing for an opportunity to be a backup. Once again, he did this last year for, what was it, the Rams?
I don't remember. I think it was on
It was
the
the Rams against San Francisco in Week 7. I might be wrong about that. I'm pretty sure he played for this opportunity last year and performed pretty well. I would not be surprised if there was a closer game than that 10-point line with Kansas City and Denver. And Noah Gray, who's a top 10 tight end somehow since Week 11, playing full-time snaps with Mr. Kelce out. Wentz was the quarterback 2 last year in Week 18.
Yeah,
I knew I remember
against
something.
the Niners for the Rams.
So, yeah, there you go.
He threw for 163 yards.
106, and he was the quarterback
because he had 2 passing touchdowns and he ran for 56 in his score.
Wow.
Yep.
Crazy.
He's going to do what it takes.
All right, my tight end start of the week is getting loose. It's the Muth, Pat Freiermuth versus Cincinnati. That's one of those matchups we've really been targeting all year. He was the tight end 5 against Cincinnati earlier this year, where he had 6 for 68 and a touchdown. An important game for the Steelers. I think the Muth will get loose.
I'm going Big Montana. It is really just, this is the matchup play. And we get to play the music, everybody. The Raiders are
Gotta
31st.
find a reason to believe in Week 18, boys.
31st in scheduled adjusted points to the tight end position. Gonna play Big Montana.
Oh, yeah, you are. And we'll just fade that all the way out of the show.
We shouldn't have other starts of the week. It should just be
Just
Big Montana.
someone has to play.
Yeah, someone has to play Big Montana just for the drop.
He's like the every week start of the week until he's out of the
Little
league,
Montana.
until he's gone. Okay, there's your starts of the week. We'll take a break. We'll hit the forecast.
It's time for Fantasy Forecast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
It is an ultimate Nasty Boys weekend, Mike.
Oh, yes, it is.
Nasty.
Yeah, the Cleveland Browns are they are knee deep
Yeah, you.
Whoa! I had
You
not
just see
seen-
their
I
implied
just
total?
saw that.
This is the line is lower than it was. This is DraftKings having the line between the Browns at 3-13 with an implied point total of 12 against the Ravens trying to secure the division with an implied point total of 29.5. They're 17.5-point favorites. The over-under is just 41, but that don't matter when you're projected for 30 points on the
man.
Baltimore side.
Yeah, the Baltimore's going to be fine.
It's wild because when we were looking at our Parlay, which, by the way, Mike, 7 straight weeks with a hit. He didn't
That's
even
crazy.
he didn't even take Ladd McConkey last week. You have 17.5 points. They're favored. I wanted to take Zay Flowers over, and I'm not sure they'll need to use him.
That
Pro
is-
Bowler Zay Flowers.
Yeah,
Did you watch
over
that vid?
Brian Thomas.
Look,
that don't make no sense.
Well, here's the so
is it
much,
making the playoffs?
so much of the Pro Bowl is I mean, you have the whole public vote, and it takes some time. Like when you're Jaden Daniels and you're like the face of a team, then it's easier to do it. Yeah, Baker Mayfield didn't make the Pro Bowl. It's
Yeah.
like you got to set the foundation of people getting excited about you, and then you perform the next year.
I saw the video. Zay Flowers making the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Thrilled for him. It was awesome. Also funny when, their general manager's like, yeah, I hope you don't get to go. Because it's it's Orlando, and if you're in the Super Bowl, you don't go. But Lamar, Henry, Flowers, Andrews, play them all.
I think you're going to play them. They got you here. They're great. The matchup is good. The implied point total is good. The worry is that because it's such a lopsided – I mean, the Browns are projected for 12 points. Like, they won't need much. And so I don't know how large of a game you're going to get out of these guys. If they're up a bunch, are they going to be playing Derrick Henry in the fourth quarter? They shouldn't.
Do you know how many targets Jerry Jeudy had last week, guys? Are you aware of the number?
No, I'm not.
Mm-mm.
What if I told you it was 18?
How many catches did he get?
12.
Wow.
So 94 yards.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it was actually an okay game for Jerry Jeudy. He is a Pro Bowler as well, by the way. And him and Deonta Foreman are the only two that you can think about. Deonta Foreman should get the start and be the full-time running back on a team that will be down by 1 million.
Against a good rush defense.
Yeah, and Jerry Jeudy, I think you can play him. 18 targets last week with DTR. You can give it a go.
Yeah, I think
they should be coming back all game long. You're going to dink and dunk your way to something.
Yeah, with Njoku probably not playing, you saw that last week. It was seemingly very helpful for Jeudy. I think Jeudy is a fine play.
Bengals at 8-8 taking on the 10-6 Pittsburgh Steelers. A must-win game for Cincinnati, even more than Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh's odds of winning the division are basically nothing. Technically they can win this game and have Baltimore lose to DTR. That's not going to happen in Baltimore. It's just not. You can clip that if it does.
It's not happening.
It's not going to happen.
But
Yeah.
Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, look, Cincinnati is they're playing for everything. They need some things to go their way this weekend.
But it starts with a win.
And they need Carson Wentz to be awesome, by the way. They're the biggest Carson Wentz fans on the planet because they need Denver to lose.
It's not a good place to be.
But Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, yes, please. Mike Gesicki had 10 receptions last week, spot start candidate. And then Chase Brown, still not practicing, working out with the trainers. I'm sure they'll try to get him out there. But Khalil Herbert would fill in and be a decent spot start if it was alone.
I'd have no problem playing Herbert.
Certainly over Foreman. You've got a good
yes.
offense here. You expect a lot of points scored. So if Chase Brown can't go, or if you have Chase Brown, make sure you've got Herbert on your roster.
Mike already mentioned the Jaylen Warren start of the week. You do have a Cincinnati defense that has stepped it up as they've made their playoff run. Pickens is a 64.5-yard DK receiving line. You can play him and the Muth getting loose, both Mike and Jason with starts of the week on the Steelers this week.
That's right.
Sunday games, the 4-12 Panthers taking on the 8-8 Falcons. The DraftKings Sportsbook line, Atlanta -8. The over-under's 48.
Andy's almost upset of the week.
Yeah, I'm here for that
It's
one.
too Atlanta of Atlanta to blow this thing at home. I think Kyle, who's listening, an Atlanta Falcons fan, knows this is true. Kyle, any thoughts on this game? Are you about to blow out the Panthers?
Yeah, just kill us right now.
Yeah. An 8-point line is wild, and maybe it happens, and it definitely could.
8? Yeah, that seems wonky.
But everything's interdivisional this week, and the Panthers are trying to build momentum with Bryce Young, and they would love nothing more than to punish the Falcons and send them out of any playoff hopes. Obviously, you can play Bijan, Jason start of the week, Drake London. Darnell Mooney is scary to me because we haven't seen a lot with Michael Penix. He did have an okay game, I think, 2 weeks ago.
He did. He was 5 for 82. I think Mooney is a fine play.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Thielen has been awesome since his return from injury. 9 targets for Leggett last week.
I'm fresh.
That was Thielen, not Leggett, right?
No, Leggett doesn't talk like this.
No. Bryce Young's your start of the week, Mike, in a desperate situation.
Mm-hmm.
And Raheem Blackshear
Arr!
will get the start, but had 2 fantasy points on 77% of snaps, so probably not a good situation.
It was the matchup was way worse for Blackshear last week. I mean,
He had no wool.
Yes. That's
last
correct.
week
0 bags full.
He's trying to get 3.
Yeah.
When Chuba was ruled out, you were playing against Chuba, Mike, and you were disappointed because you thought it was kind of a trap game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So it should be better for Blackshear, but there's more options. Like Blake Corum, your start of the week, Andy, he's out there. He's available on almost all waivers. You would start him over Blackshear.
I'd start Corum,
Michael Carter,
if Herbert is there with
Khalil Herbert,
with Chase Brown out, easily over Blackshear.
The Commanders are 11-5, taking on the 7-9 Dallas Cowboys. Washington 5-point favorites. The Commanders are currently the 6th seed. If they win the tiebreaker over Green Bay, so what is that situation then? So if Green Bay loses and they win, they move up, right? So, or because they move into a tie, and then that would move them up. So they're motivated to change their seeding in this situation. They're going to play their starters. That's what Dan Quinn has said. Dallas beat them in Week 12.
Yeah, it's one of their losses, a divisional matchup. I mean, I think the team certainly is going to come to play.
So Jaden Daniels, Brian Robinson Jr., who's been a little bit tough to start the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, they are really rotating running backs there.
And if you listen to, was it Micah Parsons? Other than 7 or 8 plays last week, they were right there with Philly.
If you just take away all the terrible plays that they gave up on defense, like the big touchdowns.
Otherwise, they made them earn it.
Yeah, they didn't even let them score 1 point outside of the touchdowns and the field goals.
No, 0. He was the most fantasy football sounding answer I've ever heard, where it's like sometimes we get on here and it's like, man, if you took away his 56-yard run, he would have had a bad game. Well, yeah, that's exactly right. So play your Commanders and forgive Mr. McLaurin. He was a DMP with an ankle injury.
Yeah, I mean, you can't hold a bad game against a wide receiver who's been playing as good as Terry McLaurin.
Zach Ertz, 2 touchdowns last week, has a special spot with Mr. Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, he's playable. It took overtime to get that second touchdown.
I think he, if memory serves, I think he has another incentive, a couple more incentives. If he gets like 90 yards on a touchdown, I think he hits 2 more, something like he had like, it was like 606 or 707, 808 with yardage and touchdowns. So it might not be a bad start to chase after incentives.
Do you believe that? Would you believe this? Jake Ferguson, 0 touchdowns.
Yeah,
on the season.
I mean, he is more of a product of Dak, and like to start the year, it was the first week of the season, Ferguson got hurt. It was a down game, misses the next week, but then he's a top 10 guy 3 straight weeks in a row, and then eventually they lose Dak, and the season is just gone.
Chicago.
Oh, Kyle found it, Jason. Ertz needs 90 yards to hit 700, and then it's a $250K paycheck. 90 yards?
Not going to happen. That's a lot for those legs.
Okay, just to clarify what I said earlier, the Commanders and Packers have the same record. They just need to win to keep pace. They have the tiebreaker already. Is that accurate, Kyle?
Yes, that's correct.
Help me out
Okay.
here. Yeah, because I was like, it says they're currently the 6th seed in the NFC. So
They have to hold.
yeah, they have to hold. Chicago's 4-12. Green Bay is 11.
Oh, you're not going to talk about my man Rico Dowdle?
Yeah, I mean,
Go
Rico
ahead.
last
Sorry.
week seemed unplayable.
I forgot about an entire team.
Yeah, you did. Well, we talked to Jake Ferguson.
Rico Dowdle has 1,000 yards rushing.
Rick, let that wash over you, people.
You know-
Rico Dowdle is over 1,000.
The truth is,
glorious.
and I'm not taking anything away from Rico, but that is a bad football team. And Dak's injury, I don't think this happens without what took place with Dak going out for the season. He is like the man making the most of a really bad offensive situation, and he's ran well, performed well. The team has given him tons and tons of opportunities to do that now,
Yes, that's
which
true.
had gone way, way down. I mean, his attempts on the ground 3 times in the last 5 weeks, he's gone over 20 rushing attempts. So
Yeah, the foundation of the offense had changed, but he's on a bad team and he's running 4.7 yards per carry.
Yep.
Like he is getting it done. Yeah, and last week, like I lost.
That's what I just realized.
I lost in the dynasty championship because it was we were
you would
coming-
have won.
he would have won
If
if
you
he played,
played
played
his
Dowdle.
dude.
Yeah.
His guy Dowdle.
Yeah.
But it
And
was
you-
such a bad matchup
It
against
was.
Philly.
He was coming off the Tampa Bay game, which is
Oh, no.
which like it was really bad against Tampa Bay. Then he was playing against Philly, who's just an absolute shutdown.
And Ford had
defense.
just had a big game.
Yep.
And you lost CeeDee Lamb, so you don't
Yep.
you don't expect the offense to be good.
Yeah,
but if you play Rico, you're Rico.
Yep. I would have
Oh,
won.
boy.
You're the champ.
Oh, yes.
So this is
Oh.
like
I am
this is
aware.
a deserved loss. Then
Yeah, you like Dowdled him.
I did. I doubted Dowdle. But the point being, it's more of this against Philly. They gave him the ball 23 times, and
Because he was having success.
yeah. So he is in play here, and his offseason will be very interesting to watch too. They did let go of superstar Ezekiel Elliott. If you didn't see,
Give him another chance to
That-
go be a body on the bench for somebody in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Is what he thinks.
yeah,
Yes,
who's
that is-
signing him?
Whoever signs, I mean, probably the Chiefs. Melvin Gordon got a ring.
Fair.
Give Zeke a ring.
Shady, right? Didn't they?
Yeah,
did Shady
yeah,
get
but
a ring with
I think Shady ended up leaving the team by then. I'm not positive.
But-
Everyone gets a ring with
but
the
Rico
Chiefs.
with Zeke,
Robert Horry is actually a member of the Chiefs.
Does
Dowdle
Zeke pay? Do these players
Oh
go
my
and
God.
pay the
to pay to
Chiefs?
get on the team.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
that'd be
would.
s-
I would totally.
Yeah.
You got the money for it.
Yeah,
Just-
be like, here's a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's like buying a ticket to the Super Bowl, right?
It's really good seats.
Yeah, you get great seats for the Super
honestly,
Bowl.
people would give $250,000 to be on the sideline at a Super Bowl. That's all he's got to do.
Yeah, if you're these with this
He
wealth,
did get a ring with the Chiefs. Shady did too.
All right.
and it,
Shady and Melvin Gordon should go out and celebrate, man. Chiefs, world champs.
the larger point was now that Zeke is gone because Rico was running very well against a very tough opponent with no CeeDee Lamb on that team, and then when they got close to the goal line, they're like, put Zeke in.
They've done it
So
all
now
year.
he's gone. So someone else will probably steal
Shady
Dowdle's
was a member of the
touchdowns.
Buccaneers too and got a ring.
Super Bowl
Oh man, Shady, you
superstar.
you sneaky boy. Chicago 4-12, Green Bay 11-5. DraftKings Sportsbook line Green Bay -10. They need to win. The over/under's 41 in this game. Chicago has lost 10 straight games and cannot move ahead of the 9 spot because they play in a division with
Really?
such great teams that their strength of schedule situation that's what kills them. I mean, there's a
so weird.
Jacksonville's 4-12 and they're the 5th pick. Chicago's 4-12, they're the 9th pick, and it's kind of wild. But yeah, Green Bay's got to win. They will. Chicago, okay. Here we are again. 10 straight losses. Depression sets in.
They've never recovered from the Hail Mary. I mean, that Hail Mary was the end of their
Were
season.
they were 4-2 at that point?
Yeah.
Or 3-2?
Oh, I think they were 4-2.
I mean, that Hail Mary,
They would have gone to 5-2 if not for a Hail Mary, and instead
and they haven't won since.
They just ended their season.
They lost their coach, offensive coordinator.
Did you guys put your ears to the bushes for the rumors that are going on with the Bears and Ben Johnson?
No.
And because look, Chicago should be a very attractive job.
Absolutely.
With everything that they're building over there. And you have rumors, of course, that Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, like that,
the belle of the ball.
Yes, he should be able to get basically any job that he wants over this offseason. Maybe even a job of like, no, you should fire that coach and I'm going to come in here. That's how well it's gone for Ben up in Detroit. But you have more whispers that general manager Ryan Poles is like, I'm not going to do it because if Ben Johnson comes in, then the leverage, Ryan Poles is afraid of losing his own job, rumorville-wise, which is like, oh, man, that's so.
Why would he lose his own job?
Because bringing Ben Johnson will have so much power when he comes in, and he's like, no, we're going to revamp this.
I think that's how you keep your job, is hiring a good coach.
Yeah.
And winning games.
Yeah, but there is
a
power balance that when you get a rising star like Ben Johnson, you have to offer them a lot of things besides cash.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be immediate. That would be
that would be
something
eventually.
where, like,
it would be
if they still struggled, the blame would now be on the general manager after a couple of years because Ben Johnson was so sought after. Play your Josh Jacobs rushing line of 63.5. What dart throw do you take at wide receiver anymore? I mean, we've been living in this same Green Bay Packer mess every week where, look, I don't think there were a lot of Green Bay Packer wide receivers on championship teams.
No. My Packer wide receiver of choice is definitely Josh Jacobs.
It's Dobbs. It's Dobbs.
It's Romeo Dobbs.
It's stupid Romeo Dobbs.
At this point, because he's the one who was out there the most.
DJ Moore's line's 56.5. Okay. Keenan Allen on his way out last game as a Bear, undoubtedly. And Tucker Kraft, you could do it. Worst against tight end, the Bears, the last 6 weeks.
Do you feel like Keenan Allen's going to get a real opportunity?
No.
I'm very, very curious what happens with him next year because he's played he's played good
he's
ball.
Put up stats.
He won't. He won't get a good – he'll get a Hopkins-y. He's in the Hopkins-y phase now. I mean, look –
So you're saying he's going to the Chiefs?
I'm not necessarily.
Yeah.
I'm not saying money, but like, will a good team be like, oh, Keenan could be our wide receiver too?
I mean, if he went to the Chiefs with Mahomes, that would
be
work
interesting.
pretty well.
The Chiefs are just collecting the what was.
Yeah, the old bodies.
I mean, Hopkins and Brown and Juju and I mean, it's just wild.
Keep going.
I don't think that'll be the fit, but I mean, you know who could use him a lot? The Chargers.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be a fun.
They really could have used
reunion.
him. They could make a playoff run with him.
Well, they're gonna make one without him.
Well, a playoff run.
Yeah,
run,
you gotta
not
win.
get in. But Houston 9-7, Tennessee 3-13. DK Sportsbook line Houston -1 over under 38. Texans locked at the 4 seed. Starters will be out there. We'll see how the game goes, is what he said in terms of how long they'll be there. Tennessee actually beat them in Week 12. Tennessee set up to take a quarterback. They have the number 2 pick right now. They're going to play some combination of Mason Rudolph and Will Levis in this game, which makes everybody terrifying. I do think Chigakonkwo's fine.
Yeah.
Texans struggle against tight ends to begin with. They're probably going to sit guys in the second half. Joe Mixon needs 107 rushing yards to earn $250K. He won't get it.
I don't think
he won't get it in this game, and he's got aspirations. He just got $250 for making the Pro Bowl. So higher aspirations for this team, and he's an older running back. They need to keep him fresh. I would be scared, honestly, playing any Texan.
Yeah, you have no idea how long they're going to play.
I don't think it'll be that long.
I still think I would. I think I would play Joe Mixon, and I wouldn't be surprised if he hits his rushing yardage bonus. I mean, he's been good, and the Titans. I mean, in the course of the season, they are literally last in. I'm
not sure how much you see him.
I mean, that's obviously the fear.
Maybe a quarter.
I will certainly say from years past, whenever there is these situations, it is very frequent that you really want to not start players that might be pulled because they are. Honestly, I'm happy that he has that 107 rushing yard line to a bonus because maybe that would help a team keep him out there. However, a lot of these teams, they pay if they don't get it and they get close, they still pay him. So they might just go like, yeah, we'll give you the bonus. You didn't get there.
Honestly, if it was like 30 or 40 yards, I'd be feeling better about Mixon's opportunity to play than 107 because I don't.
It's a lot.
This team's toast. They're toast if they lose Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
And he's an old running back. And the game line says they're sitting guys. I mean, Houston would be much, much bigger favorites over a hodgepodge quarterback in Tennessee if they were going to play him. We'll take a break. Got a couple matchups in our Parlay Partay remaining. Jacksonville 4-12, Indianapolis 7-9. This is the worst game you can play. The Indianapolis when you get eliminated the week before in embarrassing fashion, this is the worst game. I mean, it doesn't matter for either of them. Indy's 4.5-point favorites. The over-under is 45 on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Richardson, we'll see if he can play.
Yeah, doubt it.
Probably not.
Got to be able to get out of bed in order to play football.
It is really step one.
So what are your start-sit decisions in a game that doesn't matter? I mean, in that respect, you should see people playing the full game.
Yeah, I think you're going to have Joe Flacco out there, and if he is, you've got guys like Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman that are fine starts. Jacksonville's defense is bad. Obviously, the Colts defense is so bad. I mean, do they fold or do they come back to prove a point here? I mean, last week
There's nothing to prove.
Was just the most embarrassing thing I've seen. A team that needs to win, you're still playoff, bound or you win and you've got the potential of making the playoffs, and to give up 40-plus points to Drew Lock's Giants. So, I mean, that just says on the other side, can you start Travis Etienne?
I like Brian Thomas. I like Alec Pierce. With Joe Flacco starting. I like Jonathan Taylor, Pro Bowler, Jonathan Taylor. I like the fact that Mac Jones chucks it. I expect the Jacksonville Jaguars to win this ballgame.
Oh, yeah?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I
can see it.
The Colts are so dysfunctional, and the air is completely out of that building. There's problems. You've had this quarterback situation this year. You've had motivation problems with the locker room. You've had somebody like Pat McAfee coming out and undressing your entire organization and saying he's,
has he been getting them?
Have you not seen this?
I did not.
Yeah. Yeah, you might want to look it up. I mean, it's like he posted a tweet last week that was as intense as you can get. And everything
going after what? Ownership? Because I mean, it's all different people now.
Just the dysfunction in the organization all the way down to him not renewing his season tickets. Like it's something he's been saying for a while. But, Joe Flacco is good for Alec Pierce. That's generally been the case.
I mean, he's good for the upshot for all three of them.
Yes,
like
Downs, Pittman, Pierce.
Pierce is the big play guy. Pittman is he'll have a floor. The fact that Josh Downs didn't do anything was
I think
very
it's
strange,
surprising, and I don't view that as meaning you can't start Josh Downs.
I
this
agree.
Week.
Yeah.
But how would you put him in order?
I would probably put – I think I would put Downs first. Does that seem crazy? I mean –
I like the 95% of snaps for
it's not
for
crazy.
Alec Pierce.
I mean, it's
what was the snap count for Downs?
Downs was at 61%.
That's a player that's not maybe as healthy as we thought. Well, though he doesn't normally play more than that. That's about where he normally is. Pittman was on the field a ton.
Yeah, I think
94%. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I could see this game being one to hit the over and have a bunch of, two bad defenses allowing two mediocre offenses to have success.
Yeah, the Downs is play. It's like Jaden Reed, where you got to have the right formation to get him out there.
The Buffalo Bills backups at 13-3, taking on the New England's Patriots starters. Nope, they're backups at 3-13.
They just said they're going to play May.
Okay, it doesn't matter. The DraftKings Sportsbook line: Buffalo -3. The over/under is 38. They're hurt in a couple ways. New England's going to try to win the game, is what they said. We're playing to win the game. We're going to play Drake May. He's been banged up. He's had to come out of the game multiple times and let Brissett in there. Buffalo's going to be playing backups. New England's at home. Buffalo's 3-point favorites. The over-under is 38 on the DK Sportsbook.
It's going to be cold.
It's so bad for New England to win this game. So bad. They can lock the number 1 pickup.
Yeah.
Kyle, is there any situation with strength of schedule since they're playing Buffalo that they lose that number 1 pick?
I don't think it'll
because their strength of schedule. Yeah, I don't think they can overtake. I mean, Mitchell Trubisky and a bunch of backups.
Can you?
Who are you starting? I mean, Ray Davis.
Yeah, that was the name I wanted to bring up.
Probably Ray Davis, Ty Johnson.
Ray Davis seems like he'll have a good game. I think he should. He's going to be needed. The matchup is nice. You're still favored in this game. So I think Ray Davis is an okay start.
This is one of the games that's the more difficult ones because Buffalo's all locked in. Josh Allen will come out there for a split second. But on the other side, I mean, Ramondre had 2 touches. How do you start that?
No, you absolutely can't. I don't know who you could. I don't think you can confidently start a single player on either side. Like Ray Davis, okay, maybe, but it might be Ty Johnson. They might rest Ray Davis. So you can't confidently start a single player in
I'm willing to add Ray
side.
Davis to the
the Corum
Gurindo combo.
Okay.
I'll just put another rookie in there.
I think that's
Makes
fine.
sense.
Into the combo platter. Our Parlay Partay last week, I took the bet on T. Higgins under 71.5 receiving yards. He had a number 1 overall finish.
Doubted the start of the week.
So
wait, give me my crown.
Dude, I will always doubt T. Higgins, brother.
Really?
I'll always doubt it because it works out to doubt it more often than not.
Well, that's only when he's off, when he's hurt. If he's on the field, he's great.
Well, then I'll start because my line this week, I'm taking T. Higgins over.
Baby. Let's go.
Lessons learned, over 60 receiving yards. He's averaging 78 receiving yards, and they need the win.
Just to finish the recap I was getting into there, Ladd McConkey, 50-plus receiving yards. Jason hit that one, and Mike had 60-plus for Trey McBride last week. Jason's going T. Higgins 60-plus receiving yards on his pick this week. I'll take Judy 40-plus because it's inevitable losing the entire game. You got a second half to catch a couple passes and get over that line.
It might feel ugly for a bit there, but I agree. I think Judy should hit it. And I'm taking Malik Neighbors over 66.5 receiving yards. He's averaging 81. He's hit this line in 5 straight games. And, I mean, they aren't playing for anything but pride. And Neighbors is going to be like, no, I want to be the best. I mean, you can't overtake Beckham, but he wants to be one of the greats, for the great rookies of all time for the Giants.
I like Neighbors this week a lot. That was Fantasy Forecast presented by DraftKings Pick 6. Download the new DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use the code BALLERS. That's the code BALLERS for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. That'll do it for today, but we're back tomorrow. We've got more matchups. We've got the Wheel of Shame on tomorrow's episode.
Huzzah!
And our fantasy face-off once again, and we'll be back into it. Week 18, boys.
Almost done.
I'm gonna push this button so I can take the clown wig off.
That's good.
Not that I don't look great.
No, you do look really good.
It is like almost needs a wash. I'm wearing it so much. It's getting stinky.
Yeah? You got your tetanus shot?
No.
Oh.
Goodbye.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits expire in 6 months. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.